This is the bill hook that I restored, cleaned up the edge a little bit. I was using it for some chopping work and I was getting good penetration, excellent feel in hand, but I was slipping a lot on the handle. The handle basically is just compounded with sweat and it was very slick. Even though I gave it a light sanding and some linseed oil, it was still very, very slippery and difficult to hold on to. Now I've textured it with basically a fine saw, which will increase the texture hopefully enough that I can work with it. But the problem that I'm finding is that the wood itself is inherently very brittle and it's going very smooth, very quickly. It's losing the texture. And again, this is a very old tool. So what I'm going to do with this one is put some linseed oil in the texture, leave it for a little while, and hopefully that soaks in and gives it a bit more strength. In the meantime, I'm also going to clean up this other bill hook, which is similar, but has a thinner handle that's slightly longer. And I want to see what the difference is, because before I really start modifying the grips too much, I want to try with them a little bit and work on my grip mechanics and see if I can figure out how to use them and get it to be stable, because these are very old traditional tools. So if there's a problem with these, it's most likely technique rather than the actual handle. Now I've already filled this with an expanding epoxy to sort of seal into cracks. Now I'll basically clean the handle up a little bit and put an edge bevel back on it and see how this one goes, because like I said, it's a slightly different handle than the other one, so this will give me a bit of a reference for the grip mechanics. Here's the edge reground. I kept very close to the original profile. There wasn't a distinct line because basically the curve of the edge blended into the primary flats without a distinct bevel, but a decent enough transition could be seen. The angle of this is approximately 8 to 9 degrees per side, so it's relatively acute. This is convex, so it deepens towards the very edge, not by very much though. Right at the apex, under about 20 thou thick, this still is only around 12 degrees per side. I didn't eliminate all of the edge damage, again because I don't like to hone on a belt sander, because unless you keep it cooled with a coolant, you're risking damaging the edge extremely easily. I also cleaned up the handle. I sanded it down to remove those essentially decades of grime. I've got a very light checkering on this, put on with a saw. Now I'm going to coat this in linseed oil and sharpen up the edge. And then I'll take this one out and compare it to the other one, because this is slightly lighter and it's a slightly longer and slightly slimmer handle. And I want to see roughly how that fares, because again I was getting some slipping on the other one, which had a shorter and thicker handle, and I want to work a bit more with my grips and see how I can modify them to use these more suitably.